Most people think they understand human behavior. They don't, because the truth is, some of the most important rules about how people think, trust, and betray each other only become obvious after something goes wrong, after you trust the wrong person, after you realize someone was pretending, after you notice patterns you can't unsee anymore. And by then, it's usually too late to go back. So here are 10 dark psychology facts about human behavior that most people only learn after it costs them something. Most people don't act based on who they are. They act based on what gets them results. If being kind gets them approval, they'll be kind. If being distant gives them power, they'll become distant. Your brain learns through reinforcement. It repeats what works, which means the version of someone you see is often shaped by what you reward. And most people don't realize that until someone changes on them. Your brain doesn't prioritize truth. Prioritizes familiarity. The more you see something, the more it starts to feel safe. The more it feels safe, the more you trust it, even when you shouldn't. That's why people stay attached to the wrong person for too long and feel uncertain around the right one, because familiar doesn't mean correct. It just means repeated. People reveal themselves in small moments, not big ones. Anyone can act right when something important is on the line. But watch how someone behaves when nothing is at stake, how they treat people they don't need, how they respond when no one is watching. That's where patterns show up, without performance. But most people miss this because they're waiting for something dramatic. Whoever controls your attention quietly influences your decisions. Your brain gives importance to whatever it sees the most, not because it's always true, but because it's constantly there. That's how influence works. Not loud, not obvious, just repeated, until it feels like your own thought. Most people don't lie directly. They edit. They leave things out. They change the order of events. They soften certain details and highlight others. And your brain fills in the gaps. That's how you can be misled without anyone saying something false. Because what's missing matters just as much as what's said. The moment your brain forms an opinion about someone, it starts protecting it. You notice what confirms it. You ignore what contradicts it. If you think someone is good, you overlook red flags. If you think someone is bad, you overlook effort. At that point, you're not seeing the person anymore. You're seeing your interpretation. Strong emotions feel like deep connection, but they're not the same thing. Intensity creates attachment. Uncertainty creates obsession. And your brain responds to both with powerful chemical signals, which makes something feel meaningful, even when it's just activating your nervous system. That's why some connections feel unforgettable, even when they weren't healthy. People treat you based on what you tolerate, not what you say. What you allow to continue becomes the standard. If small disrespect goes unchecked, it doesn't stay small, because behavior that works repeats. This isn't about blame. It's about understanding how patterns grow. Most people don't resist truth because it's wrong. They resist it because it threatens who they believe they are. Changing your mind sounds simple, but sometimes it means changing your identity. And that's something people protect more than accuracy. Clarity comes late, not because the signs weren't there, but because you were emotionally involved. Emotion narrows your perception. Distance expands it. That's why after something ends, you suddenly see everything clearly. The patterns, the inconsistencies, the truth. But while you're inside it, your brain is trying to maintain connection, not accuracy. Here's the part most people don't say out loud. None of these patterns are rare. You've already experienced some of them. You just didn't have the language for it yet. And once you see them clearly, you don't unsee them, which changes how you trust, how you choose, and what you ignore next time. So the real question is, which one did you recognize first? Comment the number that hit you the hardest. And follow for more, because the earlier you understand this, the less it costs you later.